This week I watched 6 movies starting with the letter V, and here's what I thought of all of them. If you're new to this series, I am taking a different letter of the alphabet each week and watching movies that exclusively start with that letter, usually recommendations from you all. This is to expand my own movie horizons, but also to get better about logging my movies on Letterboxd. So of the 6 movies, there were only 2 that I hadn't seen before. And the first is probably the most obvious when it comes to V movies, which is V for Vendetta. And I went in completely knowing I didn't read anything on the disc or anything like that, and so when V started talking, I was like, that sounds a lot like Elrond. So vocal recognition I've got. But I think it worked super well as this like political action thriller. Anyone who reads it as a romance concerns me a little bit. It was a particularly interesting watch given everything going on politically. The other movie I hadn't seen before was Vertigo, which thank you for recommending that. I have loved pretty much every Hitchcock film that you all have recommended to me. This is a film where I don't think like the descriptions online do it a lot of justice. Because yes, the vertigo like matters a little bit, but really in its essence it is a like crime mystery meets there's like some supernatural elements to it, there's some thriller elements. It also gets into like men's obsessive nature. It was a super interesting and unexpected watch, and also I just like love the color grading of this film. I don't even know if that's the right term, but like the colors in this movie, fabulous. Movies I had seen before. Of course, I started this on Valentine's Day, and so I had to watch Valentine's Day. I'm gonna be so honest, I like it more than Love Actually. I said it. I think the romances are much more wholesome and work out better. Also, as like a big Back to December girl, I love Taylor Lautner and Taylor Swift's relationship moment getting to be like immortalized in film, and there are just so many parts of this movie that I quote often. Another movie that I rewatched and loved is The Village. I probably rewatch it too much. It was my first M. Night Shyamalan film, and so I didn't expect a twist, and so when there was a twist, it like blew my mind. But like even outside of that, I think it works as like a really interesting like interpersonal drama with some horror elements thrown in. So if you go in with like that genre frame in mind, I think you'll really enjoy it. Or just go in knowing nothing. I think that's the best way to go into a film sometimes. Other movies I had seen before, I did rewatch Van Helsing, and I think that this role is like a particularly good bridge for Hugh Jackman between Wolverine and like Greatest Showman. I think Van Helsing has like there's like obviously some like masculine like power energy that he's going for, but it's like also very like dramatic and like there's a lot of performance in it. So I think that's like where Hugh Jackman thrives, and so I love seeing him in this movie. Just don't go in expecting good CGI. But if you like kind of like the gothic literature elements, if you go to Universal and you like going to like the dark universe, I think this is a great film for you. Relatedly, I did a rewatch of Victor Frankenstein, which I watched when I was like really in my James McAvoy era of life in my teens. I couldn't remember why I didn't love it until we got about halfway in and I was like, ah, yes, I remember. And it's because it starts off with this like Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes-esque style, and then just like ditches that completely. And I think if they would have kept that all of the way through, I think it would have been a much more successful film. Because I think it would have taken on, like, this is about Victor Frankenstein and his story, and it is, but, like, I think there's, like, a style to that they needed to commit to. Like, Oscar Isaac talks about how he, like, tried to, like, do this, like, rock star Victor Frankenstein. I think that's what they started with, but then it just kind of, like, so many things start happening in the movie, and you're like, oh, I don't know anymore. Anyway, could be worse, could be better. Next is movies that start with the letter W, and I'm sure there are going to be so many great recommendations, so be sure to leave them in the comments.